Hey, nature photographers, it's Lee Hoy. I'm back with another video, and you asked for it, you got it. A lot of y'all said, hey, I'd really appreciate a video on how to clean a lens and cleaning a sensor. So, boom, you asked for it, I'm going to do it. Before I jump into how to do that, I would like to share with you that I've opened up registration for session 2 of part 1 of the OM System Mentorship Program. I've had 6 or 7 people on a wait list, so the link to register for the session 2 of part 1 of the OM System Mentorship Program will be down in the video description below. It's a great opportunity if you're new to OM System or you've been using it a while. This is designed to be the most intensive educational and informational program on OM System you'll find anywhere, guaranteed. The first part is about mastering your gear. It's going to be about the technical side, mastering your camera, and mastering your photography. I've put a lot of work into this. I've expanded it, and there'll be many more videos, projects, and lots of exciting Zoom meetings and private Zoom meetings. So if you really are tired of going out in the field and finding that your gear is often an obstacle because you don't know it, you haven't mastered it, this is the best solution. You go out on a workshop with me 7 days, even 14 days, you're going to get wrapped up in the shooting and you're not going to get to master your gear. You're going to learn, but you won't master your system like you would through the mentorship program. So hope you'll join me in that and maybe in an OM System only workshop as well. Well, let's dive right into it, shall we? Howdy from West Texas. I'm Lee Hoy, professional nature photographer, and this is my YouTube channel, Lee Hoy Photography. I'm an OM System ambassador, photography workshop instructor for Wildside Nature Tours of Precision Camera and Video, and contributing author for the Journal of Wildlife Photography. All right, so first thing we're going to do is talk about cleaning a lens. To demonstrate that, I have a trusty 300 f4 lens right here. So what I talked about in the last video was how to assemble your cleaning kit. Well, in this particular video, I'm going to demonstrate how I go about cleaning my lens. Now, you know, how I clean a lens is going to vary tremendously based on the type of climatic condition I find myself. So we talked about the static-free brush. Now out here, particularly in West Texas, it's very dusty. My windows are open, my sliding glass doors are open. I used to be kind of a clean freak about dust. You can't be that way. But what you'll find is when you have, a lot of static electricity, particularly in dry, cold climates, you can take a regular brush like this lipstick brush right here, and all you're going to do is push the dust around, okay? And one thing to do too, when you do have big chunks of dust or whatever, is don't hold your lens like this, because then you're just swirling them around. Try to hold your lens sideways, okay? And brush down if you can, right? So you may go in some circles, but what you really want to do is brush it down, and then you want to try to get in this groove along the edge of the glass. But if for some reason you do have static electricity, you're going to take this anti-static brush, and we're going to sweep in downward motions, okay? And we don't want to grind, because if you do have some silica, sand, or something that could scratch your lens or scratch the coatings, you want to be gentle. And I'm guilty of trying to do things too hard. I had an ex-wife that used to joke with me whenever I was doing projects or using a tool. All you need is a bigger hammer, and you can't do that with lenses. So we're just going to go downward strokes, trying to help the stuff fall off. So static-free brush in areas with high static, and a regular lipstick brush. And if I've been anywhere dusty, if I have dry snowflakes, anything that I want to get off before I'm going to spray solution, a brush is necessary. Now, what I might do, if even before I have a brush, is hold the lens at an angle, and then I'm going to do a little air duster. This will often come before the brush. Could be in either order, but I really want to get big squeezes, big bursts of air, okay? And usually you want to do both, because there are going to be some particles that the air is going to get loose. But again, if you have static electricity, the static-free brush is going to be your favorite. But we don't want to blow like this. We want to blow it like this. One thing too, I'm not afraid to clean or change lenses with moisture, with snow, but I'm going to gauge the wind direction. Do I need to go behind a vehicle? Do I need to get in a vehicle? Can I block it with my body? I want to make sure when I'm cleaning a lens element that snowflakes aren't hitting it while I'm cleaning it, or rain. So again, holding it at a good angle to make sure that when you're cleaning it, you're not just letting junk get right back on there. So if I've got a little bit of moisture rain falling in the air and I need to clean off the lens, I'm holding it down. I generally like, if I have moisture to clean it and need to dry it off, I'm going to leave the lens hood down and just put my fingers up there, and I'm going to just gradually swirl softly the thick lens. Remember in that video I talked about thick lenses and kind of polishing lenses, okay? So the thicker lenses are going to absorb moisture better, but they may not be quite as good at doing that final polish. So then I'll come in here with one of these shiny ones, and then I'm going to do that final polish. Now, the lens hood is only down if there's moisture I'm trying to keep from getting on there. So we've blown off our lens, holding it down. We've brushed off our lens using the appropriate brush for the situation. Now, we're going to spray some moisture on our lens. And we want to make sure that we're not too close to the lens, right? We want to make sure we're at a good distance to get a good mist. 2 or 3 smooth pumps. And now I have a light coating of moisture. So again, I'm going to grab, my trusty OM System thick cloth, and I'm going to gently swirl that around. I am going to push a little more to get it up into the corners, the very edges of the glass. But we're just going to go around until there's no more moisture left, and that's starting to look pretty daggum clean, okay? But now I'm going to take the glossy one that's really for polishing, and I'm just going to go around and around. Now, if I got wind blowing, dust in the air, I'm going to be very cautious with doing this dry, right? You don't have to be overly protective, but you just want to be cautious about it. So then once I get that done, I'm going to, particularly if there's moisture, if there's precipitation dust, I'm going to get that lens cap back on before I go to shooting. Now, I don't walk around with a lens cap on. I want to be ready to shoot unless for wildlife photography. Landscape, night sky, in between, that lens cap goes back on usually to protect it. If I stumble, fall, lens caps have helped me many a time, on protecting the lens. But now let's talk about cleaning the rear element of your lens, because it's very different, right? You have these electrical contacts. So we're not going to spray liquid right on those contacts, but we are going to blow the snot out of that sucker, right? So this is where your blower really can come in handy. And we might take the brush and then we might just come around the edges to try to clean dust off those contacts, okay? But what if we got a little loose hairbrush up in there? Well, we're going to blow it again and just try to blow any of those out of there. Now, some lens elements are close enough where I feel comfortable taking a rag and cleaning them. I generally don't do that because on lenses that have a really deep recessed lens element in there, I've just never had that much issue with problems with debris, spots, whatever on there. And usually if there are, it's usually blowing them out of there. We'll get that out of there. So that's how I clean my lenses. I'm cautious. I'm not obsessively cautious, but I am cautious about it. So that's cleaning a simple lens. Now let's talk about cleaning your sensor, okay? Because this is where we want to be super cautious. We want to follow directions and do it right. So we're going to get rid of our lens cleaning solution so that we do not accidentally use that. That would be quite problematic. I also am not going to use a blower to blow up inside there unless I see there's something loose. So, I've got my body cap. I'm going to take that off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to inspect my sensor. Now, I'm going to move it at angles and let that light reflect on it. So as you move it around, you can see that the light hits it differently, right? So that I can then just take a look for any loose particles. If I saw a really big loose particle, then I would hold it like this and blow into it, just to try to make sure that whatever's in there falls down and doesn't stay in there. So you're going to hold it like this. And I'm definitely not cleaning a sensor outside in moisture or precipitation. If I need to clean it, I'd go inside a vehicle. I'm not too worried. If the wind's really whipping, there's going to be dust about. But I've cleaned a sensor outside one time, so I had to. But, this is better done at home or inside a yacht, a vehicle, whatever it might be. So we've blown it out. I don't really see anything on there. So I'm going to lay my camera down, okay? And I'm going to hold it up like this just so it'll be a little easier to see on the camera when I go to cleaning. We're going to take one of our 17 millimeter swabs, okay? Just one. I'm going to go ahead and take my sensor swab solution, the Eclipse Optic Cleaning Fluid, okay? We're going to go ahead and unscrew that, and this is a brand new bottle, so with my eyesight, I'm not wearing my glasses. I don't think there's a protective seal on there. Let's see. Maybe I should have opened this before the video. Huh? Here we go. It's just on there super tight. Okay, yeah. So we've got our lens solution open. We are now going to open our swab. Do not touch with your fingers this edge. This is what we're going to clean with. Do not put the solution directly above the camera. We'll put several. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now it's good and moist, right? Now, all we're going to do, and this swab fits your sensor, right? The wide part is like this, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to put it into our camera, and I am going, let me try to hold this here. I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to pull it down one time, and then I'm going to put it in the bottom, and I'm going to swipe up. I am not grinding. So I'm going to put this in here lightly at the very corner, and then I'm just going to pull it across once, all the way to the edge, lift up, okay? I'm going to spin around, and then I am going to go the opposite direction. Boom. And that is literally all there is to it, okay? Once I've cleaned a sensor, this will get thrown away. You do not reuse this on another sensor. So my sensor is cleaned. Again, light touch. One, pull across to the corner. I like to flip and then just go smoothly right back. So normally it's better to have it laying down and just like this, gentle. You're done. This gets put down. Body cap goes on. Boom. It's that easy. But again, the key is do not push. You're not scraping dirt off a boot. You are cleaning a sensor. So we're going to be gentle and just gradually slide it across all the way to the corner. Then we're going to pull it back across the other way and then dispose of the sensor. Don't be cheap. This is not a place to get cheap. Put our lens cap back on our solution. And oh, there is a little plastic here I'll remove before I put that up so I don't forget. So cleaning your lens, just like that. Cleaning your sensor, easy peasy. You really, I had several people comment they've never had to clean a sensor. I rarely do. I think I mentioned in the comments that the only time I knew I had to clean one, I was talking to a client, taking the lens off, and as I talked, I saw a little piece of spittle go pop, and I was like, really? So I've had a couple other little times, and again, I'm probably the least cautious person you'll ever meet when it comes to protecting things. So I'm as hard on my gear. I mean, this OM2 is pretty new, and I don't know if this one's been dropped yet or not. Probably. I'm really hard on gear. It's a tool. I don't baby them. I use them. So hope that helps. You know what? If you've cleaned your own sensor and you have had good experience, hey, leave me a comment down below. Thank you to all of you who are part of my online community. I really appreciate you. Coming up in mid-September, I'm doing a scouting trip to Costa Rica. Look forward to a Fieldcraft video on how to find macro subjects. So I'll do at least one video on macro while I'm down there in Costa Rica. I'm going to be heading to New Mexico to visit an aunt here shortly. I'm going to do a video from Ruidoso area. So I've got some exciting stuff lined up for you. Hope you like learning. Thanks for being a part. We'll see you next time.